Oh, come on! Merry Christmas, everybody. You're watching the Broken Controller Club. My name is Ed and I'm your host. 2021's been a great year for games with a lot of really pleasant surprises and some disappointments since the year started. As I am a gamer on a budget, I've got both the Xbox Game Pass and PlayStation Now to try and keep me from buying everything that I want and avoid making my wife and daughter get extra jobs. These allow me to play titles that I normally wouldn't have bought. The subject of today's review is one of those games, called Flynn, Son of Crimson, a game released back in September, but if you've been watching my reviews for a bit, I was reviewing tons of crap back then for my Bad Game Summer event and didn't really have time for anything that was actually good. Before we get crack-a-lackin' though, I'd love for you to subscribe to the channel and give a thumbs up and share the video if you enjoy what you're watching today. At the time of this video, I am within striking distance of 500 subscribers, and it would be a Christmas miracle if I hit 500 by January 1st. Also, me and the family celebrate with a pizza party for every 100 subscribers I get, so you'll also indirectly be feeding me. So Flynn, Son of Crimson is a platformer, much like many NES and SNES era games in the past, like Super Mario World, Castlevania, and Adventure Island, if you want me to get a little more obscure there. It's got the pixelated graphics of those eras as well, and looks gorgeous with big cartoony sprites and lots of nice colorful backgrounds. You play as Flynn, a red-haired kid who's best friends with a dog named Dex, the island's guardian. To me, Dex looks like a cross between a German Shepherd and that dog-dragon thing, Falcor, from the Never-Ending Story. You remember that part in the movie where the horse died? Why'd they put that in a kid's movie? I still cry at that. Anyway, Flynn lives in this world called Rosantica that's being attacked by enemies called the Scourge. Flynn and Dex are minding their own business when they're attacked by this girl named Rosia. She's got something stuck in her craw about Flynn and they fight. Dex eats one of Rosia's attacks, which drains her of her guardian spirits and almost kills her. Flynn needs to save Dex by going to Crimson Shrines throughout the land to restore the spirits, and by extension her power, to her, along with learning more about his past and how to control his own latent power called Crimson Energy. This takes him all over the game world where he'll learn to use new weapons like a sword, axe, and claw, and he'll learn magic spells as well. This game was originally going to be a Metroidvania, but developer Studio Thunder Horse changed course mid-development a few years back and made this game's progress more like Super Mario World, where you just travel to various points on a map to progress. I like this more personally because number one, everything seems to be either a Metroidvania or Soulsborne game lately, and two, it's just easier to keep track of collectibles and alternate exits that you've unlocked in each level this way. You've got your basic medley of environments here, like forests, caves, ice caves, and more. Occasionally you'll beat a level and a Scourge zone will pop up that you'll have to go through, and those are usually a little bit trickier and feature some harder platforming and more difficult enemies. Regardless, the levels all look great, and the game eases you in at the start with some simple jumping around, then you get to some harder stuff by the end of the game. It never really spikes in difficulty or gets too difficult that you'll rage out, or at least I didn't. I do have to say that at times the levels felt like they did run a little bit too long, and I got a little bit bored. You're not really forced to fight all the enemies except at certain points to unlock new zones, so there were times where I just run and jump past everything to get to the exit faster. There's plenty of bosses as well, and the game does the usual thing where you'll fight mini-bosses who become normal enemies after you beat them. The bosses themselves are fun, even if they're not too challenging. I didn't usually die fighting them, and for the few I did, it was just one time. Beating them unlocked a spell or weapon along with a guardian spirit for Dex. Once Dex is powered up enough, you can actually ride her in some of the levels. If you've never seen a dog-wolf thing maul goblins before, then it's a pretty good time. Going back to the action itself, it's a lot of combo-based gameplay where you're going to be slashing, dodging, and shooting enemies. Most of them have a stun meter that you'll want to work on wearing down so that once that fills up, they'll be unable to attack and you can wail on them. Enemies all have simple but different patterns you'll learn, and towards the last half of the game, more of them have elemental weaknesses that you'll have to exploit to win. Killing enemies and destroying crystals in each level will get you crimson gems that you can trade to this warrior chick named Loretta to learn new combos, increase your health, and power up your attacks. The music in this is also pretty solid. It's nothing catchy enough that you're going to want to thump in your car to attract the skanks at nightclubs or Target on a Friday night, but what's here has that quiet, sentimental vibe like what you'd hear in Secret of Mana, Lord of the Rings, or a Zelda game. It's there for atmosphere, and it does a great job of it. So this definitely isn't a long review compared to plenty of the other ones I've done in the past, but I wanted to point out this game to anybody who is on the fence about playing it, as the game is totally worth your time. There's several dozen levels to play through, the action is fun, and the game doesn't overstay its welcome, and you'll probably want to stick around long enough to get all the collectibles. Give the game a shot and you won't be sorry. That's all I've got for today, but you can be a club member by hitting the subscribe button and we'll do this again soon. Have a Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah, and if you get visited by 3 spirits and a dead coworker, it's probably because you're an Later. Congratulations! You're one of an elite few to make it to the end of the video. Reward yourself by hitting the round subscribe button in the middle, and then check out the other goodies I've got and the links next to it.